Recycling is to many a way to maintain a healthy earth. But it's also a massive industry, not just for this country, but here in Montana as well.
But now the world's largest buyer of recyclables is backing out. Q2's Asia Gore shows us how that decision is sending some of your recycling to the dump.
Mountains of paper, plastics, and aluminum pile high at this Billings recycling center day after day. Earth First Aid sorts and sells these recyclable materials to brokers. But first, workers must weed out the actual garbage.
And we do see a lot of contamination. We go through those bins by hand every morning and pull out all the garbage and separate out all the good stuff.
That contamination, like food waste, liquids, and non-recyclable materials, is the reason behind China's 2018 national sword policy, a ban on imported waste. For years, China has been the biggest importer of recyclables, repurposing plastics and paper or burning them as fuel.
For plastics, I mean, it's going to be your 3 through 7s. That was a big item that was primarily being shipped to China and was being burned as fuel. They have decided to stop doing that. The other thing would be paper. They used to take what was called a mixed paper. They no longer are accepting that either.
Now, Barron says those items are headed to the dump.
So those 3 through 7 plastics, your tubs, buckets, trays, your clamshells, those are being landfilled currently. There are no markets that my brokers are aware of.
And if you don't have anywhere for it to go and nobody's paying you for it, then therefore now it's solid waste, and that needs to be thrown away.
Dusty Johnson with the Montana Department of Environmental Quality says contamination is killing the recycling industry.
People don't understand that when it's contaminated, it takes somebody to clean it up. And a lot of these organizations don't have the manpower or the time, and so then they end up having to throw that material away.
Barron says because there aren't many domestic markets with this kind of demand, China's decision has pulled the rug out from under U.S. recycling.
It's kind of sent shockwaves through our industry. It's really backed up the local domestic mills. All this material that used to go to China is now stopped at the coast, essentially, and now floods back into all these domestic markets, and it has nowhere to go. Drives the price down, drives the demand down, and makes it really tough on us smaller guys.
Barron's brokers tell him these are the darkest times for recycling in decades. U.S. recyclers are looking for alternative foreign markets, but Braves and Johnson know contamination will impact those agreements down the road if something doesn't change.
Asia's joining us here on set now. So what should we do? Just give up on recycling? What's the message here?
Well, no, but if you're going to recycle, then make sure you're recycling correctly. So some things that you should know, check in with your recycling program and make sure that the things that you believe are recyclable are actually part of that program. Also make sure to have your recyclables clean, so no food waste, no liquids, and also keep them separate from other things that aren't in that same group. And then finally, a rule of thumb, when in doubt, throw it out. So if you don't know if this is recyclable, it's better to throw it in the garbage than to contaminate the rest of it.
All right. Thanks so much, Asia.
Thanks, Asia.